So yeah, eighth grade. It's a indie film, well, kind of indie film, I guess. I'm not sure if it was an indie film or not, but it has a very indie film vibe. It's about a girl who's in eighth grade. It's her last week of middle school, and she's It's
Yeah. I think this was on my anticipated list. Like the moment I saw the trailer, like written and directed by Bo Burnham, because I am a fan of. I was a fan of like his stand-up comedy work, like over the past few years, and the moment I saw this, I just knew I wanted to see it because, like, given Bo Burnham's style of comedy, it's it's very relevant to today's times.
yeah. So I don't think I've ever seen a movie directed by Bo Burnham. What else has he done?
It's his first film.
It is. Oh.
Yeah, like he's done stand-up comedy work, but like before that. So yeah.
So it's basically what's interesting about this movie is like it's kind of like I said, it kind of has a very indie film vibe where like there's no real resolution towards the end. You've just got all these like it kind of feels like a slice of life TV series, but condensed into a 90-minute movie. You have these minor characters, like there's this girl named what's the mean girl's name?
Kennedy.
Kennedy, yeah, and she doesn't want to be nice to the main girl.
Yeah,
and there's just a subplot with her not being nice, and the main girl, what's her name again? Sorry, I'm not a name person. Kayla, Karen, Kayla, yeah. Kayla's trying to about a subplot where Kennedy's mom invites Kayla to her birthday party, and then she tries to be nice to her there. She tries to be nice to her again. Towards the end of the movie, she's like, "You're a bitch. I don't like you. You should be nice to people." And but Kennedy doesn't learn to be nice to people. She's just like, okay, she doesn't like me. So there is a lot of like there's like unresolved stuff, but it's not supposed to be resolved. It's supposed to be realistic, like a slice of life show. So you have all these unresolved things where people just like do things and it leads to something else happening for the sake of the plot. But nothing really needs to be resolved because like in real life. Sometimes in real life there's no things don't always get resolved. They just get left ambiguous, and you have to deal with them. And that's the point of this movie, is that sometimes bad things happen to you, or not really bad things, but sometimes when things happen to you, you have to deal with them. And no matter how good your intentions are, or how outgoing of a person you are, there are things you just can't change.
Exactly.
I think there's a metaphor for this, like at the beginning of the movie, like where they're having a show about the changing of human bodies, about puberty. They're having a science class, a health class or a science class. Like, we're going to talk about changing your bodies. Like, she's talking about how you can't change growing up, but you can change other things. Like, I guess it's like a metaphor for how bodies change. Like, people change too over time.
Exactly.
And some things you can't change. Something no matter how like good your intentions are, how much you try to be nice to someone. There are some people who are just mean to you no matter what. But it's still important that you at least try. Say you tried.
Well, yeah. Speaking of which, there. I feel like this is the movie that it's the Mean Girls for the younger generation, especially because like, and I think it's more relatable because I think classes like kids in school they usually have like social anxiety. Especially, which is very ironic because I'm talking to you on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of which, she is a YouTube vlogger. She is one of many YouTube vloggers, and it's funny how this goes because watching a lot of these vloggers just like talk about like try to give advice or talk about their day and how enjoyable it is.
Yeah, what's funny is like at the beginning of the film, you have to walk out to go to the bathroom. In the scene, she's talking about how to be yourself and she's talking about how she's making up a story on her vlog about how she didn't invited someone over to her party when she's being invited to someone else's party, but for the sake of the vlog, so she doesn't look weak. You see how she's being a hypocrite, or not really a hypocrite. You see how she's lying to herself to make herself feel better. It's funny. She's saying don't lie to yourself to make yourself feel better. At the same time, she's lying about what someone else did to her and to make herself feel better. So
especially the irony because a lot of YouTubers
Like always be true to yourself,
Yeah.
always be real, and then she's lying her ass off about how she's this outgoing person when in real life she's a soft spoken person who's a real wimp, and everyone makes
Yeah, exactly.
so
And we've seen that with a lot of YouTubers going around. You like
yeah, it's relevant.
you like everyone is making YouTube videos now, and they don't stop and figure out like if what's the motive of it all. Like the reason why I make YouTube videos is because it's like
It's fun.
yeah, it's fun,
Yeah.
So
So
I think you don't want to lose that fun when you make them.
yeah, and like I said, well, first of all, if when Emil said this is the Mean Girls of this generation, I personally didn't like Mean Girls that much. I thought it was too cliched and cartoony, but it did do its job at presenting high school in a semi-realistic way until the end, where it's like, oh, happy dory, everyone's happy and we got it all along, happy. So this movie doesn't really have a happy ending. It has an ending where like we're like looking forward to the future and stuff.
Yeah, but
it's like a very somber ending. It's happy enough. It's realistic.
I mean, the point is that like not everybody's gonna make enemies, like absolutely.
Yeah.
There are some people who don't, you don't care about, but like, they might mean nothing to you, and in this terms of Kennedy, definitely mean nothing to you, and it's and I think because of that you kind of have to figure out how to tolerate like these people that you see every day in school.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
Let's see. Another subplot was with that kid. His name was Gadden, whatever was his name.
Gabe.
Gabe. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, Gabe.
Well, he wasn't there. He wasn't in the movie for that
Very long, but he was there to show how he was there to make a point. Once Kayla hears about how he likes to like tease girls for having all these indecent pictures on their phones, she betrays herself, and she's all about be true to yourself and don't lie to people to make friends. This is the turning point where we see her lying to herself and lying to Gabe so he would like her and say, oh, I've got a bunch of inappropriate pictures on my phone, I want to show you.
That's not Gabe. That's this other guy.
Oh, what's his name again? Oh, Gabe's the cousin of Kennedy.
But,
The other guy. Who's the other guy again?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I just kind of call him Shawn Mendes.
Let's look up his name. Let's look up his name. His name is
Like, no disrespect to Shawn Mendes, but like he's the kind of like the photogenic type of like
casting,
like popular kid in school.
Aiden. His name is Aiden, played by Luke Prale. And so Aiden, what happens is you see how at first she's all like, be yourself. This is when she tries to become friends with him. You can see this is a big turning point for her when she's like not being herself and she's lying. She's lying her ass off just to try and get his attention so he can be your friend. So you've got throughout the movie you see how she's slowly becoming what she hates or what she says she hates just so she can make friends. And there is a lot of that in middle school and high school. You're like, some kids offer you marijuana and say you're going to be cool, smoke some weed with us, or some kid offers you booze, or hard liquor.
Well, I wouldn't say that it was that extreme.
Yeah, it wasn't that extreme. But there was a scene in the movie where this guy looks like he's about 14, 15, so they're both minors, so it's consensual. He takes his shirt off and asks if she wants to flirt with him.
You expect like this situation like this if you were in there to be awkward.
Yeah.
But you expect it to get worse. But there's a point. These characters do have their limits. They're not despicable by any means.
Oh, speaking of despicable, the main character I just learned, the main character who played Kayla, she was in the first two Despicable. Elsie Fisher, she was in the first two Despicable Me movies. That's what she got. Yeah, she was
only the first two.
Yeah, because after her voice got too deep, she wasn't able to play the little kid anymore.
Oh,
she played.
She was one of she's one of
Agnes. Yeah, so
one of the children adopted.
Yeah,
by
so she's a good voice actress, good actress. I think I think if she was given more to work with, I would like to see her be given a bigger budget film and more to work with, because she's given what limited material she had to work with. She had to play the stereotypical, well, not really stereotypical, but predictable. I'd say more predictable than stereotypical, because she has to play the predictable outcast, or not really outcast, but you see the, I like what this movie does as well as subtlety. You see how like when she gets invited by mom of Kennedy's mother to the party. There's a pool party. You see how she's wearing this like really conservative one-piece bathing suit, and she looks around and there's this screen. There's just shots of all these girls wearing like two-piece bikinis, and she's like staring at them, and she's saying, "Wow, do I really belong here? Like I'm dressed all conservatively, and everyone else is having these two-piece bikinis." I like scenes like that where we were able to convey a message without saying anything. You see how she's all conservatively dressed, and everyone else is being in a hurry to grow up. She's not really in a hurry to grow up. She's able to appreciate what she has, and that's what I like about her. She's able to appreciate what she has. Like, she's in middle school, and she's able to appreciate the time she spends there. She has a good time there. She does her best to make she tries to make the best of what little time she has left before she graduates and goes to high school, and that I think is a very important thing, is to make the best of what time you're given. That's a very good character trait.
Yeah, speaking of which, like the things that you end up wanting in life, they fade.
Yeah.
Especially, like there's this recurring joke, like in the beginning when she first sees Aiden, and like and he's going in like a slow motion type of thing, and like very early on, like, and at the end, like that ends up gone.
Yeah.
Which kind of shows that, like, you know, she is willing to, you know, move on from like an entire, like the sort of realm of, like, you know, kid stuff, and just, you know, just figure out what she wants for herself, and, you know, not for anyone else.
Yeah, and there's also a very touching moment with her father, where they bond over how her father says to her, "Look, I was anxious too when you were born, because I was afraid that I wouldn't be a good father, but you've proven me wrong. You've proven that you're a great daughter, and I trust you to make the right mature decisions on your own." So when she's talking to her father about anxiety issues, about if I have a kid, am I going to be a good mother? I'm always afraid that someone's going to hate me. And like, well, I was afraid that her parents are divorced, but they don't really get into that. The dad's like, I was afraid that I wasn't going to be a good father, and then he's like, "Oh, I'm a good father because my daughter is so nice, and she's always so outgoing." And she realizes, okay, my dad's not just saying this to be nice; he's saying this because he really means it. You've got some really touching moments like that, and then
there are moments of comedy towards, like, between the adults, especially the school staff, that, like, there was the.
Was it the teacher who said, "Are you masturbating?" when there's that kid underneath the curtain? He has like a curtain around his body.
I don't know who it was, but it was real. It was very. It was it. I mean, there are moments like that like get you like weird chuckles, and like especially the principal who was dabbing.
Yeah.
Like, like I know that, like, I remember we had a former principal in Highlands. Who?
Chino? Oh, sorry, don't want to mention any names. Sorry.
Anyway, I remember him, like, referencing a song, like a more recent song. I think it was like a will.i.am song, and I was like, oh God. Mm. And yeah, it's something like that. But, you know, you have touches. I mean, the moments with the dad and with Kayla and her dad, I think they touch, like, the more of the attempt to connect with, you know, with the youth, you know, it's a more honest attempt, because it pretty much shows that, like, these people, like, they know what's best, and they want to see like the next generation, like, grow up, you know, possibly even better than them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So should you go on, or do you cover all of the, like, the main plots?
I feel
there's a subplots, but I don't want to spoil everything.
I feel like there are. I feel like this movie is it's. I don't know if this message, like the themes of these are going to. I mean, the themes are going to resonate, but I do feel like, you know, especially since we're getting so used to technology right now,
Yeah.
and social media and all that, think I think this is a good I think this is a good movie to kind of address that kind of disconnect.
Yeah.
And what it feels like to be growing up in this sort of era.
Yeah, and there is a quote from Miyazaki movie or Castle in the Sky. No matter how advanced our technology gets, the world cannot exist without love, or something like that. That statement rings true, especially nowadays where you have all these people who are so desperate to like, get ahead of each other and like where everything's so competitive nowadays.
I totally understand.
I think we went over this in our Mazinger Z review where we talked about how everyone's so desperate to compete with each other, and no one could just like sit down and smell the roses and have fun anymore. Everything has to be a contest. Everything's a popularity contest. But this movie it was fun. It was a really good first film for this director. What's his name again?
Bo Burnham.
Bo Burnham. Yeah, first movie it was a good.
I mean,
film.
I kind of.
Was it written by him too?
Yeah, he wrote it.
He wrote it, honest.
Yeah, it was evident in a lot of his work at how very the disconnect between him and his audience, and sometimes how he feels. Like he addressed this in his latest stand-up comedy routine, but I think this was a wider sort of address towards that. And I totally would recommend it to like this, especially this. I mean this is a good film to have, like, especially in the I guess because like summer blockbuster season wasn't really this good.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, they're all coming out in like very much later.
Is there any crucial plots that we missed? I mean, we don't know all the main plots.
I don't think so.
There's subplots, but we don't want to spoil everything for you. We don't want to spoil the jokes. So
Yeah.
I think we did a good job explaining the movie and its.
Yeah, and I guess like give it a watch.
Yeah.